Stop staring at me! Stop staring at me or I'm gonna burn your eyes out. He'll burn your eyes out. Seriously, you need to go hiking. Get away from your screen. Go outside, get some real light. Enjoy light from the sun, not your screen. So I'm saying this after having had a lunch conversation with a good friend of mine. I haven't seen in a long time. Mike, he was in my band, Vintage, and he's had to go to the doctor for his eyesight most of his life, but he shared a few things with me that I intuitively knew were true, but didn't have any factual evidence to back them up or to really... I wouldn't say I didn't care about this problem with the screens in my eyesight, but I did not think about them as heavily as I did until after having had this conversation with Mike. So apparently, when you're looking at screens, one of the reasons why this is so detrimental to your health is that you forget to blink, or at least your body chooses not to. For some reason, when you are focusing really heavily on your screen, your eyes blink much less. Why is this a problem? Well, when you don't blink, you don't get to re-moisturize your eyes. Blinking brings tears to your eyes. Good tears, tears of joy, because now your eyes start feeling a little bit more lubricated, a little less dry, and they don't hurt. They don't feel as strained. Well, here's the problem when you don't blink. After a while of not blinking, your tear ducts, and this is according to the doctor that my friend Mike has gone to see, but he says your tear ducts eventually die. Now, there's lots of tear ducts around the bottoms of your eyes, I'm told. Again, this is the doctor that Mike went to, so I don't know this personally for a fact, but it sounds legit. The tear ducts, once they die, are gone forever, I'm told. And so after that happens, there's not much you can do to fix this. So it's probably better to blink. So I'm forcing myself to blink a lot right now, like crazy. This is kind of nutty. I'm sure it doesn't look very natural, but neither is spending 25 years in front of a computer screen for 10 to 12 hours a day as I've done for so much of my life, which I am drastically trying to change more and more every year. Of course, I am recording a video and expecting people to be looking at a screen to watch this, but at the same rate, I encourage you to stop looking at me. Go hike. And that leads me to the next step of what I was talking about with the eyes being challenged by the screen. When you're looking at something within close proximity for very long periods of time, the muscles that you use to look at things in front of you are not the same muscles that you use when you're looking at things at a greater distance from you. This sounds logical, and I have personally noticed that when I get away from the screen and go hiking, yes, subliminal, very unsubliminal messages here, but when I go hiking, my eyes feel so much better, and I'm wondering, okay, is it because the screen is not constantly bombarding me with a bunch of electrons that I just really don't need any more of? Or is it possibly that I'm looking into the distance, off into the horizon, seeing hills, seeing trees, birds, things that are very far away from me and usually not the kinds of things I see within the four walls of my little office at home? Is it that? Am I just able to exercise the long distance muscles a little bit more? Well, I was thinking about this on my own, and that's another thing that Mike's doctor at least has confirmed is also true. You start to get these muscle spasms in your eyes, which I've just started to notice, doggone it, over the last year. After a couple of hours of being in front of the screen, my eyes start to spasm. I get like little muscle twitches, and I'm being told that the reason for this is very much in line with what I experienced personally by going hiking. You're not exercising your long distance eyesight muscles. You're spending all of your time focusing right in front of you, and so the muscles in your eyes are really tight as you're looking at your screen instead of hiking. So I'm going hiking now. And that is something that I hope over time will fix some of my problems, but I'm also 42 years old. I can't kid myself. This is part of aging, folks, too. You also start to lose some of the things you were able to do as a kid. So I do have a confession to make, though. This conversation with Mike was just something I wanted to throw in here because it's a really frustrating thing for me to know the truth behind this because of the feeling I have had for so many years being trapped in front of a screen. So I wanted to share that with you because I want that to help you too. I want to spend less time in front of a screen, not just because of my eyes, but because of the other health problems I've had from doing it. You know, sitting down or standing up, just being stationary for too prolonged amount of time has had serious consequences in my health over time. And I've had to do all kinds of really extreme measures were taken to come back from serious health ailments I've had in my life. And if you know me, you probably know some of these things and how serious they were. So this is not a small topic for me. I'm very adamant about trying to unchain yourself from the computer, but I'm also a heavy computer user. So, all right. So enough on that topic. There was something that I felt the need to share, especially having started this video off in a similar fashion. You know, the eye-catching, don't stop staring at me! Yeah, like, that's really exciting. You see something at the very beginning of a video that's supposed to catch your attention. So that's why it's like a marketing ploy, right? We do this to get attention and then get you to hopefully watch the rest of the video. Well, that feels fake, and I'm a very big proponent of authenticity. I do feel energetic at times. I do, and sometimes it makes sense to get your attention with my energy because I actually feel like sharing it. But there's also many times where I don't feel energetic, and forcing yourself to be energetic or forcing yourself to sound creative or sound like you know what you're talking about, I don't like doing that. I'd rather you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when I'm feeling like garbage, I'm still trying to create a nice video, but I'm not going to seem like I just spat on you. If I was not authentic, I'd go back home now and edit that out. But maybe you'll just make the slow motion music video out of this or something like that and repost this and make fun of my dumb blank. And that's fine too. So I was going to say that the feeling of non-authenticity is something that I don't say I struggle with that as much as just the feeling that I have to be on during times where I know I'm not. So in my household and in my life, there have been people who I care about who have seen me fail miserably and a lot. And trying to record a video when you're around people who remind you of your failures, or trying to, not necessarily a video, just trying to do anything to express yourself or just improve yourself. It can be challenging when you're around people who have seen you fail as miserably as I've had people in my life see me fail. And so sometimes I'll make a video that feels kind of forced, and you can probably tell by sometimes the duration. They tend to be shorter videos, or they tend to be videos where you kind of get from my body language and the things, my real language, that, hey, I'm just going to make this a short one because I want to go to bed tonight. And it's a challenge because I know that the drugs that I used to be on, the medications for all the mental health stuff that you've potentially heard about, and if not, that I think that's upcoming because I'm going linearly from when I was born till right before I die. No, I'm not going to be making videos on my deathbed. But if you do know me, you'll know that drugs were a big, serious situation for me. 26 years worth of them. And one of the things that has caused, I've been sober for over 7 years now, so this is nice. But one of the things that has caused for me is my Bioclock, my body clock, is tends to be a little different than everybody else's. Or at least I feel that way, right? Because we all feel like we're misunderstood, right? Everyone's unique. We are. Trust me, that's true. That sounded like I was making fun of that situation. And I guess I kind of was. But I didn't intend for it to be making fun of. Wow, I'm prefacing the heck out of things today. But one of the things I've noticed about my Bioclock is that right about 5:30, 6 o'clock, my brain is toast. I like sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I like sounding legit. I think most of us want to feel that way. But after a certain time of the day, that just is not possible. My brain shuts down and it tells me, okay, it is time to unwind. It is time to ignore the social expectations, the employment expectations, the whatever, and just allow yourself to coast. And I can't always get away with that. There are situations where I feel that I have to force my game face back on. And that's when I start feeling non-authentic, and I guess I start feeling like, it's better to just claim it. It's better to just say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and make a video, but right now I'm feeling lousy, and I don't feel like doing this. So if there is one takeaway that I want to give today before I get to my destination to go hiking, it is this. Identify your body clock and learn to respect it. Sure, everybody's got a different set of needs in terms of how their body best performs, and you're going to find yourself making compromises because they have to if they're going to work with you too. But don't ignore the importance of your body clock. Don't disrespect it. Make it known. If you work best at 5 o'clock in the morning until about noon, make that known, even if it disrupts a bunch of things in your family and in the employment. If you don't, what you end up doing is you keep sacrificing your own needs until you implode. And then guess what? You're no longer good for anybody. You're not very helpful when your body's all messed up. So it's better that people know about this and they learn to compromise back, especially if you're a people pleaser. Teach people to also please you. Yes. It's okay to have people do some of the sharing in this game of life. It doesn't have to always be you. So identify your body clock and respect it, and teach others to do likewise. And over time, you'll find that you'll be getting more and more better quality work done for you and for everybody around you. All right, so I am at my place of hiking, my residence away from residence, my office away from my office. This is where I get some of my best thinking done. Really, hiking. And here's the thing I learned about hiking and creativity. Actually, just creativity in general. I was listening to a lot of NPR stuff, and one of the things I heard that seemed relatively true to me, just in what I've experienced in life, is that if you do things out of order, if you go hiking or write things down in a nonlinear fashion, or you stare at the color green for at least, 2 seconds, your creativity gets a boost of 20%. Whatever. How the heck do you measure that? Is that true? I think the point of the conversation that I heard on NPR was that trying to break out of routine when you go to do work really helps flex your creativity muscles. And so they mentioned things like doodling really helps. Using a hula hoop really helps. Anything that's non-linear really helps. So walking around in a path when you go hiking while staring at green really helps because it's non-linear. And so there's a lot of things that can hit your brain at once from many different angles, and you're not expecting any one thing to pay attention to. and you get to tease out relationships between 2 points that would otherwise go unnoticed. So that's why writing things down outside of your work time frame is really helpful. Just doodling, writing things down in the mornings before work starts or right before you go to bed, where you're not thinking about any one thing. All right, I think that's about enough advice for today. Yeah? Cool. The next episode, I hope to bring us back to Miami. There's a couple more stories I want to share there before we move on to the next destination, which will be Spain. Ooh, yes, you get to travel with me vicariously to Spain. But we'll get to Miami one more time. One or two more times before we go to Spain. All right, guys. See ya. Yeah, just out here exercising my long-distance eye muscles. Look at that distance. In the middle of a nice little prairie here. Of course, there's some power lines and there is some sign of civilization, but for the most part, I feel like I'm in that movie Stand By Me, where I'm going to follow some train tracks and see where they go. But for the moment, I am by myself looking at no humans. It's nice. Get out of here.